Good evening and a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. We'll be starting in the next 10 minutes. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you. We're going to be starting in the next 5 minutes. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. A very warm welcome to each and every one of you who've joined us in good time. We'll be starting in the next 2 minutes. Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Right Selection, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you here this evening. I'm very excited about today's webinar and looking forward to welcoming our dear friend and international thought leader, Ashish Vidyarthi, very shortly. Our organization, Right Selection, have been a family business for over 25 years. We partner with individuals and organizations who believe in thought leadership. We've been partnering with organizations in the Gulf and the Indian subcontinent. And our goal is to build future leaders, thought leaders, both regionally and internationally. And in today's new world that we now live in, for the last 2.5 months, we've been bringing you regional and international thought leaders to share their inspiration, to educate, engage, and inspire you to take action today and every day for the new world and the future that we are about to embark on. I'm going to start by sharing a few announcements before we have a couple of polls and then introduce our dear friend Ashish to the webinar today. So Passion for Publishing our webinar partners, and if you're looking to become an author or a co-author with other authors, and this is a great opportunity to connect with them. They're actually the publishers of my recent book launch, which is Breaking Bread, which many of you who were on the Marshall Goldsmith webinar would have been a part of. This event has been supported by the IBPG, the Indian Business Professional Group, and ICAI in Abu Dhabi, who've also invited their members from the UAE to join us today. If you're interested to partner with Right Selection, this could be in branding and collaboration to increase your visibility, credibility, to co-create and collaborate, please do reach out to us. It'll be a pleasure to explore how we can do that. As I said, I recently launched my book, Breaking Bread, but today we have on LinkedIn a link for today's webinar, which will be shared with you in the chat box and once again during and at the end of today's webinar. We welcome your feedback on what one takeaway did you learn from today? What are you going to apply in your life? So do join us in giving your feedback using the link that we provide on LinkedIn. Thank you. Whilst these webinars are complimentary, sponsored by ourselves, we feel as leaders, it's a great opportunity for us to give back. We're receiving valuable knowledge, and it's our opportunity as leaders to give back to those who need. Right Selection is sponsoring and supporting 2,000 families and helping reach food to them each and every month. So your support in contributing anywhere from 500 rupees upwards will help us reach more and more food to the children and families living in the slums. Thank you for your support. If you're looking to repurpose your content, then Kata is a great partner of ours, and there's someone you could connect with. For today's logistics, the webinar will start very shortly. We encourage you to use Google Chrome as your browser, as that's the preferred browser. Keep your mobiles away so you can enjoy it, be fully present and enjoy the value of this webinar. Keep a paper and pen. It's always nice to take notes of triggers of thoughts that come from Ashish's presentation. And last but not least, do take the opportunity to have a glass of water near you and keep hydrated. I'm going to now have a couple of polls, which I have, so we have a sense of who's with us today. So please do join us in participating in the polls. The first question is, what is the size of the company that you're working for? We'd like to know if you're a solopreneur. Are you an entrepreneur? Are you a part of a large organization? So if you could click on one of the links in the questionnaire that's been shared, that would be great. So please do click and participate in one of those links. This gives us a good sense of the audience who's in the room. I'll move to the next poll. I'm not sure of that. Currently, we'd like to know what's the biggest challenge you're facing today. So if you could share with us what's your biggest challenge you're facing by clicking on one of the boxes that is shared, that would be great. So is that working with your teams virtually? Is it restructuring your organization? Is it moving your business to digital? Or is it managing the employee well-being and balancing care and performance? Please do tick one of the boxes. Thank you. Great. So before I introduce Ashish, the format for today, Ashish will share with you for about 20 to 25 minutes his insights on the topic for today, and then we'll lead into Q&A. Do feel free to type in the chat box and share your questions in the chat box. That way, in the halfway stage, I'll be able to facilitate the Q&A session with Ashish and yourselves. So Ashish, to me, needs no introduction to our audiences here, but he is an Indian film actor, motivational speaker, and he's known for his work in 11 different languages. I mean, many of us struggle to learn one or two languages beyond our native tongue. This gentleman knows and speaks, trains, educates, inspires in over 11 languages, from Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu, Hindi, Bengali, to name a few. These have also been the cinemas that he's participated in his career. He's been engaged by all the learning and leading corporates in India, from HR to leadership teams, and been a headline thought leader in many of the regional and global thought leadership conferences here in the region. He organizes bespoke and customized programs for organizations. He delivers with great energy, passion, and with his heart. To me, it's been an absolute pleasure knowing him for the last few years. He's spoken for us in organizations throughout the Gulf countries, here in India, and it's a pleasure and privilege to call him my friend. Today, the live stage has moved to a 16:9 screen. What can I say? Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ashish Vidyarthi. Thank you. Welcome, Ashish.
Namaskar.
An absolute pleasure and privilege.
How are you all? How are you? Gautam, good to see you.
Likewise, a real pleasure. Thank you, Ashish.
Wonderful. And we've got an interesting set of people here, I believe.
Yes, we have over 500 people on the webinar now, from various corporate organizations in India and the UAE as well.
First of all, to begin with, thank you for this opportunity to reach out and meet people and create something of value. Thank you to begin with, each one of you who have joined at the invite of Gautam. And so Gautam, you did mention something about it being a 16:9 world, right?
Yes, that's the new world.
Absolutely. So in case you people, so Gautam was meaning this 16:9 aspect ratio in which you and I will be increasingly meeting, not just between us, but in business, with relatives. A lot of things are going to happen in this world. And Gautam, just to let you know, a bard said a few summers back, all the world's a stage. Just the stage has shrunk to this.
Right.
But we intend to do something extraordinary, come what may be the size of the stage.
Absolutely.
Right? So I'm happy to be here. So let's set the ball rolling. Fantastic. So am I on?
Absolutely, you're on. I'll put you on full screen and over to you, and we'll connect again at the halfway stage for the Q&A. Thank you, Ashish.
I look forward to that. Fantastic. Superb. Great. So first things first, my name is Ashish Vidyarthi. I work in 11 languages. I know only 3 of them. All right. And that's the interesting part of life, is that as an actor, you understand that language is the key, and language is something that you've worked on all your life if you want to really improve yourself as an actor in that language. And suddenly, lo and behold, as I was working in languages that I did not know, I had to come up with something, because it was crisis. It was really crisis, because I was now a professional actor in languages that I did not know. And that brings us to the beginning of this. Consider, dear friends, crisis comes with a new name each time. Look into your life, look into wherever you are from. Look at aspects of your business, look at aspects of your life. I can be very, very sure you've never been left alone by crisis, except the crisis has come with different names. But what's interesting is that even as crisis came with interesting names, different names, it always met you. It always met me. It always met us as you and I were en route, the journey that we will call our life. So, dear friends, consider for a moment, crisis is en route, that journey. that destination, that entire thing, that thing which we may call our mission. Today's conversation is about you and I really making a choice. How keen are we for this crisis and that crisis and those crises to disappear before we get on with our mission? Our mission. That's right. Not just today. What happened today? Yeah. Today. Our mission. Now, let's face it, my friend. There's a difference between breathing and living. Living and breathing. Is he around? Yeah. He's still around, and he's living. This conversation is about you and me living. No wonder you are here in these numbers. You are here in this meeting because consider for a moment that you all, including me, have voted for living. Living is something which we cause. We cause living. Otherwise, we'll just breathe. Until everything is okay, we'll be breathing, and then we'll stop breathing, and then they will put us away. Consider this conversation is about each one of us who say that we will cause our living by really getting off the auto mode that we all seem to be falling into. This conversation is about each one of us putting a finger in our eye and really getting that, what is it about the crisis, not just this crisis, any crisis that does something to us? Consider, dear friends, that each one of us have worked hard to reach wherever we have worked and reached. Isn't it true? Yes or yes? Yes, I'm talking to you, dear friend. You who's sitting right in front of your laptop, your computer, your video screen. I'm speaking to you. Haven't you worked and reached where you have reached? Got it. And then you thought that was enough. We all thought. Because we had this wonderful thing called experience. For some of us who are so big, we even have got a legacy. And so we wanted legacy and our experience to carry us through. The party just got pooped, my dear friend. Someone said that your legacy, your experience will not count in this new future. Just give it a name. Give it the name COVID. Make it the villain. I've been playing villain in more than 190 films. So what? Just want to let you know the villain comes back. I've died more than 190, maybe 200 times, but I've come back. The crisis will keep coming back, my friend. It's up to us. Will we wait for crises to go away and never to come back again, or to really create such extraordinary pulls for ourselves that crisis doesn't matter, because our game is the mission. This conversation is to get certain parameters in place for us to really get in touch with mission. Are we up to it? Yes or yes? Got it. So can we have a thumbs up which goes out? A thumbs up, I can see that, right? A thumbs up, it says we are ready to go. Ready to go? Ready to go. Are we ready to go? Fantastic. Let's go. Let's ready to go, my friends. So what we are doing right now is that we are trying to put together that entire series into a compact form of about 25 minutes. So whatever I will be speaking to is, I'll be getting you in touch with certain parameters which are existing around us. We'll just identify. So we begin with 3 words: hope, audacity, and resilience. Hope, audacity, and resilience. So it is 5th of March. We're doing pretty well. I was in Goa. We are doing, session after session, 10 sessions. I was shooting for my web series. I was shooting for my Hindi film, and we are shooting in Varanasi. And all these things were on. We are managing dates. 5th March, I returned back from Goa, and by the time I reached home, I got a few text messages. By 6th March, most of our events had gotten cancelled. Very painful. Very, very painful. Seriously, because you really worked hard over the years to make sure that you get over 5 to 7 to 10. We had 10 events this month. It was really exciting. March was going to be very, very exciting. But guess what? It got cancelled. It got cancelled, but life was continuing. What do we do? The first thing that dies in a scenario like this, trust me, is hope. Is hope. Because for too long, I was very clear that we'll just go on and then we will go to the next level and then think. But when this just went away, the first thing that I saw dying around me and in me was hope. I said, what's going to happen now? What's going to happen now? I'm like, I got a kid who's studying abroad. I got expenses. I got, things to take care of. What is going to happen now? I saw myself really seeing darkness even at noon. I knew that I had some work to do. More importantly, I realized that I was a work in progress. I still am. The first thing that I want us all to get, that you and I, my friends, are work in progress. So wherever you are, and if you think that hope is not part of your deal, it is. Because as it dies, it kills off possibilities. Hope is something which gets us awake. It gets us awake, ready to play a game this morning, this afternoon, this evening, tonight, each day. Hope is what your teams need. If there is one contagion that we really need in our life, that contagion is the contagion of hope. We begin this conversation with the need to spread it. Many people ask me that, what happens with motivation? Nothing. Nothing happens with motivation. But what you can do with hope is that you can actually start off and create something audacious, which you never thought was possible. Audacity, dear friend. Audacity is something which are the milestones of our life. Consider for a moment, if we keep coming into each day on the basis of all that we have done, then we are just waiting for a replay. A replay of yesterday, a replay of how it used to happen, a replay of the experience that I've had. I know how it is. A replay. Have you noticed that replays have stopped playing out? It's not replaying, my friend. Everything's changed. The ground, the rules, the game, the net, the size, the ask, everything has changed. Everything has changed except for you. That's right. You and I are still the same, except everything around has changed. It's a bit like I'm standing here and there's this train which is whizzing past. Whook! Whoo! Look at the pace. Because everything else has changed except for me. Imagine what it feels when you're here just to watch a game, that everyone else is moving, everything else is moving except for me. Nah. One of the few things that happens when you're static is that you feel to be completely at loss. Audacity breaks you out of that loss. Audacity is my willingness to ongoingly do what I never did before. Audaciousness, consider, is something which has been part of our history. Audacious has been somebody like you and me have been doing through the ages. When somebody's memory changed into abacus, when somebody's horse changed into a car, when somebody's ability to just reach out simply changed into some technology which you are using right now. Audacity is something which allowed you to start doing something bigger than you ever did. And you did confront failure, didn't you? People would have laughed at you, didn't they? Don't they still laugh at you? Because they do at me. Oh, yes, they do. Audaciousness is your ability to not stop when others are laughing, not stop when even you seem to want to make you stop. Consider, en route your life, remember years back when you were not successful, you were audacious, and then you got settled. Now it's okay. Now we have done it. Now we got done, my friend. We got done. So bring it back. This conversation is not just about hope, but it is about bringing back that audacity which at some point defined you. This conversation is about the new delivery boy. The new delivery boy. Not the old hand who had delivered and then gone up the scale. This is the new delivery boy, bereft of any sort of legacy, but filled with hunger. You heard me right. I said hunger. And hunger is an odd conversation, especially when you're around abundance. But hunger is a connect for me. Hunger lets me each day wake up excited, curious, wanting to know what else can I do. It's my hunger. It's not that, oh, why should I wake up? No, my friend, hunger doesn't let me yawn. Hunger lets me go out and find it. Hunger is my fetch. Remember? Fetch. Hunger is my fetch. I think I'm making it very direct, right? Life is direct, my friends. Life is straight. Life is directly connected to our actions. The things that we see, the opportunities that we can identify, directly associated with our actions. What we say about this world, what we say about what's happening around us. And therefore, this very important conversation is, what is it that you're thinking about what's happening? What are the kind of conversations that you're surrounding yourself with? How many of you are around people who agree that life is bad and nothing's going to come out of it? And have you heard the latest news? What else is happening? Have you seen that forward? May I forward it to you? Do not. Stop accepting those forwards, dear friend. That's your ecosystem. That's the system in which you breathe. One of the key things that I have discovered in life is that I am what I breathe. I am what I breathe. I choose what I breathe. Are you ready to choose what you breathe? Because when you choose what you breathe, then you're also allowing others to be around you, the kind of person you are. This conversation is about the contagion called you. What kind of a contagion do you want to be? Because I'm very clear. One life, one life. And in that one life, this guy who's on a mission is going to be different crises with different names. I'm going to deal with it because my life is precious. My life is life of creating value, not of describing what life is looking like. It's about being a cause, being somebody who has been there actively contributing to that is happening, which is humanity. This conversation is about people, because you and I can't do it alone. Let's accept it. Can you do it alone? No, you can't. If you're part of an organization, if you're anything to do with an organization, you're very clearly there to impact wider. Yes or yes? Got it. You and I can't do things alone. That's why we are. You could be a startup like me, we're just 5 or 6 people, or you could be a multinational. You could probably be owning the thing that you're watching us on. Whoa, you're big. Both of us can't do it alone, my friend. This conversation is about getting teams on board. Not just Microsoft Teams. Teams of human beings that partner us. Do you know one interesting thing about life? Contagion spreads not just through virus, but also with thoughts. And those thoughts are very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Because they paralyze us. And, you typically check, so have you tested for that virus? You either test positive or you test negative. But you never test yourself the contagion called not possible. Life is sad. It sucks. Nothing can happen. That is the test that you and I have to continually do with ourselves and our teams. This conversation is for you to really get that if your teams aren't activated, that future can never be possible. You alone cannot do it, dear friend. This conversation is about not just you being audacious, but your teams being aligned to be audacious. And therefore, the need to powerfully communicate with them the possibilities that are there if they're ready to play the new game. Now, this new game is not being governed by the past laws and what we thought that we could do and what we thought that we couldn't do, what we thought that we should do and what we thought we shouldn't do. What we thought is, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I got it, my friend. The rules just changed. Rules just changed. The entire world is changing. What is available to us has no resemblance with the past. What is available to us is a whole vast possibility in which you and I can create anything that we want. That's why this game is of creativity. It's not a game of past formulae, my friends. This is a game in which you and I go out and think what else we can do with what we have. Because typically life is considered as, I am doing with what I have. You know what the situation is. We are trying to do the best, really. Tell me a sad story because I'm bored. Consider this. Life is not just going to be about what I do with what I have. Consider life is about what all I do with what I have. Imagine if you can be reworking the existing talent, reworking the existing way the talent is working, reworking how the world is recognizing you. Just want to let you know, even before this COVID crisis, which essentially means that our work is stopped. Isn't it true? Yeah. We're not so concerned about COVID as much as the fact that our work is stopped. Yeah. Thank you so much. Just want to check with you, because I'll tell you something about me. Much before this COVID crisis, many times I have had this COVID crisis when my work stopped. Is there anyone here in this room who has never, ever had a scenario where their work stopped? Hello? Thank you so much. You've had your work stop, right? Yeah, fantastic. Welcome, dear fellow mortals. Yes, we have seen failure, my friend. We have seen times when everything stopped and we reinvented, didn't we? I'm very clear that I have, because that's the only way I could survive. At each juncture in my life, as I moved from being a theater actor in Delhi to being a film actor, Hindi film actor in Bombay, to as I moved down south, as I started working in Tamil, Kannada, Malayalam, Telugu, each language, when I went down east, started working Bangla, Oriya, each thing was a reinvention. It came out of a crisis. I had to recreate myself. 6 years back, when I started recreating myself also as somebody who kind of communicates with organizations, reaches out to people, creates workshops. How? It was a reinvention which was needed, my friends. Nothing in this world is served on a platter. The only thing that is served is your ability to do it if you call upon it. If you don't, it isn't there. This conversation is about you really having first the hope and the audacity to create something which you have never created, because that is what is going to give you the freedom to walk into this new world. Dear friend, a whole lot of us are wanting to walk into the new with the light of the past. Yes or yes? We all want it, because we know quite a few things and we want to use it. Not going to work. And this is what I'm going to share with you. Okay, now I'm really trying to telescope a lot of things from our workshop right here. Creativity has this extraordinary capacity where you go into anything, go into any scenario with a mind which is ready to construct. It isn't going in with a construct, it is ready to construct. It's a bit like fish and learning how to fish, like getting fish and knowing how to fish. The game of creativity is the person is ready to solution and share and talk and interact with teams to create. So therefore the word team keeps coming back, because this game will only be achieved when creative mindsets get together. When creative mindsets get together, that is when the Ubers of the world happen. Any phenomenal thing that you have seen in the world has happened inside of a creative mindset. Can I share with you a shocking story which you may not like, but still, that's how it is. In the Second World War, when the Allied forces came to know that the Germans had a secret weapon, they had no clue what that weapon was. And surely you must be joking, Mr. Feynman. He mentions this very interesting story. He says that when the Manhattan Project was announced in the US, which was a secret project aimed at creating a secret weapon, which is something to counter the secret weapon, they didn't know what that weapon was. Guess what? For that, scientists, physicists, chemists, mathematicians, all these people were called and taken away to a secret location. And along with them, there were some artists and sculptors. Any idea why? Do you know why? Because it's just of the science of doing it. It's that lateral thinking that creativity brings. And I have a feeling that somebody made a round object and it broke. And somebody talked of, aha, fission. Can the atom be broken in the same way? My friends, allow your mind to be ignited by thoughts which are contrarian to what has worked for you till date. And there are three very powerful words that will help you in that. Those are three powerful words which we as artists continuously use. And that's what we use even in our workshops with the corporates. It's very difficult for people to use it, but I will still give it to you right now. The three powerful words are, I don't know. I don't know. So as an artist gets into a new scenario, it could be an actor wanting to recreate a new role. We walk in with saying that I don't know how to do this. I don't know. And therefore, thereafter, the actor now looks at how can I create this so extraordinarily that people say this is the only way that it could have been done. It's that passion of the actor which stems from creativity. The ability that I have the ability to construct something new each time. You have it, dear friend. That's why you have reached where you have. Except that you have stopped using that. This conversation is about you reconnecting to that current which actually made you. You know, in the digital piece, all of us, the image that you're seeing is made out of those tiny pixels, thousands and thousands of pixels. Each of those pixels takes on many different colors. Oh yes, they do. Each one of those pixels is valid. It is needed. That's a team. I am part of a team and I am a pixel in that team and I matter. Why I bring this up is that in this period, it is very, very important for each team member to really get that they matter. They matter. In this entire cacophony of no possibility, the smallest of the team members may first experience that they are lost. And then the biggest of the team members may feel that they are lost. Because both feel that they have nothing more to contribute. The bigger one thinks that I needed to have all the answers. I don't have the answers. And the smallest one says, I'm not needed. I'm just not needed. My friend, this is the period for us to really allow the teams to be getting their importance. In the film Hugo, there's this beautiful story about this large, giant clock. And you know, it is made out of thousands of parts. And somebody wonders, each part, that smallest part, is it needed? And in the film, they said, yes. If you're born, if you're there in that clock, you are needed. This conversation is for us to really connect to the fact that in this new scenario, I'm needed. You are needed. That person in your team is needed. When they get connected to their being somebody who matters, that's when something's going to change. And that's when we come to that final part of the piece, which is resilience. Because right after hope, you create something audacious. And when you create something audacious, you're opening yourself up to failure. Oh, yes. Because right next to audacity, one reason why people stop being audacious, are not audacious, is because they'll fail. This is a phenomenal opportunity, dear friend. Everything around has forced us into becoming a failure. Why are you afraid now? What are you stopping? What are the things that you really wanted to do, but you did not do because you did not want it? You did not want to upset the apple cart. The cart has been upset. Apples are strewn all over, so are you. This is really the moment for you to go out and create that extraordinary which you had held yourself back from. This conversation is about really doing whatever that is needed by you to make that mark. Remember two things. See, either you're going to go and create something that they're going to need, which is important, very important, because you're going to listen to what is it that they need. Yeah, everybody will talk about this. I see something amazing in this possibility. I also see a possibility of creating something which they never thought that they will need. I love that, because that opens up the field for you. It really is a place where not many people are creating that stuff. Just today I was hearing that, just like, people are making those face masks. I have a friend who makes, he has a hosiery company, and he's now making face masks. I know of an entertainment company which is now selling hand washes. And today I was reading a news about a photo a studio in Kerala, which is now making face masks except with faces printed on it. We never thought we needed. Probably it's a lot many things are going to be needed which were earlier never needed. Can you be somebody who can be part of that game? I'm very clear that hope, audacity, and resilience is going to be part of this game, because in this game we will be throwing up new challenges which we never thought that we needed to. And therefore in this game there will be failure, and you will need to deal with it. And therefore that's the kind of work that we do. Allow people to see that if you do not play big, then you will die. And if you play big, you will fail. And your ability to get back up again and get that, as you fail fast, you're actually creating a future which you always wanted for yourself. Therefore, the work needs to be done on each pixel, my friend. Each pixel needs to be recognized. Each smallest piece of this entire puzzle is important. Therefore, you cannot walk alone. Because I'm very clear that storms don't last and dreams don't perish. Crisis will come and crisis will go, and they will come up with different names. But humanity will survive and will excel. Because even at this moment, there are people who are excelling. And how about that being you? How about it being you, that you are contributing in ways which you never thought that you could? Because this game is about humanity, let's face it. This game is not about humanity which is lamenting and upset and angry with what's happening. This game is about those sorts of people who are wanting to say that, this moment has come to me, and I will light this moment with my life. Exactly. Not waiting for this moment to light me up. I will light this moment with my life. And that is what really, inspires me. And as we just complete this conversation for now, I want to let you know that this is an opportunity for us to do it all with excellence. Because in the past, whatever things that we've been doing, we got used to a certain rhythm. And in that rhythm, part of that rhythm was okayness. It's okay. It's okay. That okayness could have been in your work, in your relationships, in your ability to deal with people, in your ability to deal with yourself, how you treated yourself. This is really the opportunity, my friends, to make amends. Not just make amends, create afresh. Because this is the new beginning. This is the beginning which you thought that you did years back. Times come back. You have become a pioneer. You and I are part of Generation Zero. We are stepping into this new reality. It's really up to us what we create in that. It is up to us how we inspire people around us to create that kind of value which they never ever imagined they could. My name is Ashish Vidyarthi, and it's an absolute pleasure that you give me your listening. As I complete, I just as I invite Gautam over, I just want to leave you with one thought. Do you like people who complain? Do you like people who kind of say that life's sad and upset? You don't, right? Yeah. You know what? They're describing life with their own lens. I want you to ignite people around you and let them know that this life has immense possibilities if they are in action. Over to you, Gautam. I'm right here.
Thank you very much, Ashish. Really felt, although there were over 500 people on this webinar, it really felt like you were genuinely having a conversation with each one of us. So I want to acknowledge and appreciate your valuable insights. So we have a lot of questions there, but I'm going to start with a question for myself, if I may. As you know, I recently launched my book, Breaking Bread, which was how to build meaningful relationships for long-lasting success. And I'd like to ask you, for leadership out there, for the people on the webinar, what does breaking bread mean to you, and how important is it to build meaningful relationships both internally and externally? And how do we do that in the virtual world?
Oxygen. That's oxygen. We're going to find ways of doing it. It's the ultimate nurturer. See, when people say that you'll leave with nothing, they're absolutely right. We are not doing it, but what we want to go away with. We are actually wanting to make this journey phenomenal. And just like money is, and we all, everybody wants to, earn money and get rich. Fantastic. Very happy.
Right.
I'm one of them. But it's so very important to enjoy the journey. Whom are you spending your time with? What are you doing with that money? What will you do with that success? I share with my wife, it's so interesting to, look at a beautiful sight and say that, wow, isn't this beautiful? And I say, it's even better when somebody here is also saying, yeah, isn't it? And then you look and there is someone here. See, for me, relationships are what you gift yourself. As you're working hard, very hard, you're doing stuff which is you're really pushing yourself. But when you bring a smile to someone's face, and relationships are not just personal, like familial, home relationships, also relationships at work, that's when you go beyond that moment. And I'm not saying that they will remember you after you're dead. No. This is, you bring a smile to someone's face when somebody says, yeah, I met that. Yeah, that's nice. What is that? And that is your investment. And I think you see, we as human beings, we love to contribute, except that we tend to overlook at times. We say that, nah, yeah, I have to, how life is very unfair. Yeah, you got to all do it for yourself. Really, yeah. Those kind of people really bore me because, there's some hurt that they have gotten and now they want to carry it for the rest of their lives. And I've been a person who's been hurt many a times, Gautam. But I realize that relationships are like salve, and really good relationships, they will not allow you to remain in hurt. They will not make you feel like a victim. They will say, hey, listen, stand up and be kind to yourself and to the world. I think relationships, and I think therefore your book is very, very important, because in this business community, when people say that it's not networking, it's relationships. And I really value that.
Great. Thank you, Ashish.
Appreciate that.
We have a question from Swati Batra. She's saying, how do we emotionally stay stable during such difficult times and crisis with so much uncertainty?
Sure. So, Swati, namaskar. Thank you for your question. So, you cannot stay stable. There's nothing called stability in life, my friend. There's nothing called stability. Life is continuously moving. All right. Stability happens when you say that this is right and this is unstable. So we're trying to get some. No. So accept it. First of all, acknowledge it. Yeah, it is like that. How's it? Bad day. Not doing well. Got it. Let's do something about it. Anything that lingers will create a problem. Anyone, if you like good food, I love good food. Gautam?
Yes.
We've shared a few good meals, huh?
Absolutely.
So I'll share something about good meals, great meals, fantastic to have. Overeat problem, right? Because it lingers. Anything that you do, if it lingers for too long, you will suffer it. And therefore, acknowledge it as it is, and be complete about it. And when I say complete about it, is that say it as it is and communicate it with people. And therefore, relationships again will come in use. You're not alone, dear friend. Swati, you're not alone. None of us are alone. Let people know that I'm going through this, but don't make it your unattainable reality. No. Don't say that I can't overcome it. No. Just say it, okay, today is a bad day and I got to do something about it. If I can't do, I'll reach out and take help. This period is going to continue, my friend. And you know what's going to happen after this period? Something else is going to come up.
Yeah.
So in your mind, get it out that this is uncertain. Life has always been uncertain. Unless you've been a very good soothsayer, you never knew what will happen tomorrow. You never knew. Even before March, even before Jan, you never knew, right? So don't allow such gossips and life is uncertain and what's going to happen. It's so filled with uncertainty. Ask those people who tell you that it's uncertain, that when was it certain? They will tell you a few things. Yeah. So life has never been certain. This period is like all periods uncertain. Yes, it is throwing up its new challenges. And we have got to find ways to handle it. You got to be alert. You got to be really working on yourself, because this period is one in which we as human beings, each one of us, have to really elevate ourselves. Because if we don't elevate ourselves, a lot is going to change. So we really need to be at a very higher level, okay, in terms of emotional strength, in terms of our intellectual strength, in terms of our capabilities to adjust and create afresh, and in terms of our creativity to think of new ways. Oh yes, so you better take care of yourself, my friend. Absolutely, and you deserve it. All right. So be kind to yourself. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from Priyanka Desai. She's saying, how do I deal with the environment where I am positive, enthusiastic, I'm willing to do something, however, I'm surrounded with people with a negative mindset? How would you advise me to handle such a scenario?
So get it as their point of view. No, really. Most people, are dejected. They feel they can't do. Be the hope. Be the hope. I face it. I mean, sometimes friends will tell me, "Come on, yaar, normal baat karna yaar. Why can't you talk normal?" I said, "What's normal? A crib." Yeah. And by the way, just to let you know, a cribbing also comes very, very naturally to each one of us. So any one of us who speaks, let's do something amazing. We use these words. We are causing it. So you tell them that, look, even I don't see hope, but I don't want to live by not seeing hope. I would rather live by seeing hope. Because anyway, those who don't see hope, they may find hope tomorrow, except that they are living with no hope, and then they find hope. People like us, we at least say, let's be hopeful, yeah. Then we either find it or not have it. But the journey is very, very important. So I must congratulate you, my friend. So be the beacon for them. Not like saying that I'm the beacon for you, but keep inspiring them. Just being who you are, and don't really be caught up with should people be around you. Rabindranath Tagore said, "Jodi to dak shune kyo na ashe to ve ekla chalo re." If they do not come when you beckon them, keep walking. I promise you they will join you. They, in fact, they say, "Arey yaar, Priyanka na is too confident yaar. Hamesha har cheez mein brightness dekhti hai." They already are complimenting you. Carry on that.
Great. Thank you, Ashish. Next question is from Arun Kotalgi. Beyond films, beyond movies, what inspired you to get into training and development? And what are your plans now in this new virtual world in connecting with leadership teams?
So, my friend, and you said his name is Arun?
Arun Kotalgi.
Hi, Arun. So, Arun, life is also, each one of us is also, each one of us plays many, many different roles, and we got to realize that. See, I do everything that gives me hope. Just to let you know, I'm on my side. And what I'm welcoming each one of us here is to be on your side. Turn everything around to your benefit. Okay. Standard 4, I think, and I had the report card which said, behind the report card, there are these remarks, Gautam.
Yeah.
And one of the remarks of a kind teacher was that Ashish isn't talkative, just has a lot to share. Now I never met such a kind teacher in my life. through my life, I heard people call me, "You're talkative, you're how talkative you are." And then I became an actor, and I just loved acting. And I've loved acting, and when you create those amazing roles, when people love you, it's really fulfilling. But somewhere for me, I always felt that there is something more. There is also another part to me. I would love to make a difference. I love it when people smile around me. I love it when, so for example, when I gift somebody, I don't send a gift. I give them a gift and say, open it, open it, open it. So I love that thing. Now imagine what I saw, that through my life, as I've traveled, I've seen many different ways of living, many different ways of failing, many different ways of succeeding, many different ways of being happy and sad. And I love to connect dots. And being a talkative person, I started being a conversationalist. And so for me, this entire period, last 6 years, has been extraordinary, because now people meet me at airports. Oh, remember we used to go to airports some time back. So at airports, at restaurants, people say they Ashish Vidyarthi, I say, and not just films, sir. Your videos and it fills my heart. It's really happiness that you've made a difference. And in this new reality, as you said, the physical programs are out, but we are there, digitally. And what's very interesting, the challenging part is we have again changed it, and you would have experienced even as I was conducting this program, is that even though we may be looking at each other through a device, the connect that I manage, and that is something which I also train people in. We have a special workshop which you can always ask for. It's called the 16 by 9 workshop, where leaders are given coaching as to how they can be powerful communicators over this media, because otherwise people will just doze off.
Great, great. Thanks, Ashish. The next question is from Amit Manav, and I'm clubbing a few questions together because they are similar in nature. It's about the language we use. In sense, he says, instead of saying crisis, how can we reframe that language to reframe crisis? And in general, negative language, how do we reframe that so that, and your connection between the language we use and the feelings we have, and obviously the outcomes?
Clearly, language is a direct connect. Absolutely. It creates a world you're stepping into. Like for example, as an actor, when I started off, and actors typically say, they call it a struggle. When a struggle get in there, struggle get in there. There's a struggle period. I had never felt, and that time I didn't know all this thing, but I didn't feel like calling myself a struggle. I always felt that I'm an actor looking for work. Guess what? Even today, I'm an actor looking for work. I'm also a communication person who's looking for work. I'm a father who's continuously looking to meet his child. So we're not strugglers. We're not. If you use those words for yourself, if you say crisis, crisis, you don't have much chance, my friend. This is another day. This is another day. Why do you want to call it another? It's another day, and I'm not supposed to be going out here. It's lockdown. And then when I go out, I'll have to be responsible, because I'm very interesting demographics. I have a particular age, and I've got certain physical things. It's interesting, and I do call it interesting. I use these terms, interesting, because interesting makes it, for me, something in which I have to play around it. Okay, it's not scary. It's interesting. And if it's interesting, means that, okay, I'm in a forest, maybe, yes, I'm in a forest, and there are stuff around, and I will have to find interesting ways to make it through this, because I am in that scenario. All right. So language is very important. So be creative and create your own words. So for me, I do use a lot of interesting, especially when it is challenging. I'd say, yeah, that's interesting. So it's, so I'm saying that, okay, now how do I find my way out of it? Okay, like that's interesting. And then I say, hey, listen, I want an interesting challenge. Would you like to? And Gautam, you and I have one conversation like that. I say, hey, Gautam, I want to ask this interesting question, and tell me, how do we go about this?
Yes.
Right? That is also inviting that other person to not solve a problem, to really look at the ways out. Because here is one thing, again, is something which we deal with a whole lot. Problems will never be solved, my friend. Don't waste your time trying to solve problems. They will remain.
Right.
You keep moving. Those problems will become redundant. Yeah. And as you create value, you'll at one point say that people saying that, yeah, that that didn't. For example, I mean, like, so many problems. There's Wi-Fi problem, communication problem. This now we are kind of we are doing this as if we are face to face. And I promise you one thing, Gautam. Even in the biggest of the those face to face things that we used to go and do, nobody ever came so close. I never felt so close to people as I'm feeling right now. People are just, they're looking into my eyes. They're listening to me right now. And then it is up to me how I use this. So interesting is a nice word. You may try that out.
Fantastic, fantastic. No, I absolutely resonate with that. It's not, people say physical distance is it's actually physical distance and not social distancing as well. This is a great chance to build meaningful relationships.
Absolutely.
Be curious, be innovative, be creative. Yeah. Few people have asked, we feel our roles in our current corporate or companies is redundant currently. Is this a time to reinvent ourselves and look at new career paths, have alternative things? If we're stuck in that kind of painful scenario,
absolutely. Don't even complete that sentence. Keep moving. My friend, for anyone, I'm not just talking about you and this period, please get it. Your life is longer than your career. Isn't it true?
Yes.
In the West, so many people, they go and recreate themselves. My dear friend, Doc, I call him Doc. He went and retrained at the age of 49. He was a doctor here in India. He went and retrained himself. At the age of 40, the oldest is the oldest student in his by 2.5 times the age of the peers around him. So we had become settled. We're settled. It's okay. And now we're settled. No, it's not changed. It's changed. And the other thing that I want you to get is that too long we have trapped ourselves with our existing, our current occupation. It's, for example, if when these large events, when I go to speak, and I remember 3 years back, there was a whole lot of these questions coming up for me when I went to the People Matters conference, and people, I was there through the day. So for me, it's a great learning, even as I'm called to speak. So I learn. So I'm moving around here, and people ask me, so how come you're here? So how come you're here? So when I went on the stage and I said that at least 500 plus people have asked me face to face, how come you're here? All right. So here I want to answer this question to everybody who's here. I said that it's okay why I'm here. I'll tell you later how come I'm here. But tell me, you're asking me because this is not supposed to be my space. It is probably supposed to be your space. All right. Now I want to ask you, which is it which is not your space? When we say that, okay, this is my profession, this is my specialty, you just created not just your niche, you just took yourself out from other niches. This is really the point for you to get that you're also.
Right.
I'm also a communicator. I'm also a photographer, also a father, also a son, also a husband, also I do alsos. And that's what I want you to get, my friend. You do not be trapped by somebody else's expectation that you're only supposed to be doing this. Surprise them, surprise yourself.
Right. We're coming close to the end of the hour, so I'm going to accumulate a few questions into one, and then I leave it to you to share your insights on this question and obviously share any closing thoughts you may have. In this current world we're living in, we no longer have the compartments we had, where we could go to get fit and healthy somewhere, we could go to work and go and be there, we could be with our families, we had me time. Under one home, we now have to balance all of these different compartments. So how do you stay emotionally, physically, mentally fit, and how do you handle this thought? What are you doing in your life to sort of compartmentalize, but at the same time manage yourself to be, mentally, physically, and emotionally fit?
So this is a very, very important question. I mean, like what you've spoken of, I'm like, I'll speak for myself.
Please.
I have no compartments. I have no compartments. I just do what I'm doing at this point. There's a father who's doing this at this point, and the only person who exists in this world at this point is you. There's not a compartment. This is where I am at this moment. This person has to feel well. This person has to feel well here. And this person has to feel well when he's talking to his wife. This person has to feel great when he goes to sleep. This person has to feel great when he's taking care of himself or dealing with a phone call or an email. This person has to feel great. So there are no compartments. There is just you, dear friend. So do anything and everything that you can to nourish this person. And what's interesting is that as you nourish yourself, you'll realize that you cannot only nourish yourself. You need to nourish your environment. So I have ongoing conversations with my wife, ongoing. And I will share a little small tidbit of this. Pick up small fights, pick up small disagreements, pick up, address them, address small disagreements. Because each of those small disagreements, when they are not attended to, they become huge. When I say disagreements, I'm saying disagreements not just with the world, but even with yourself. Things that you tolerate with yourself, the small things. Okay, today I'm feeling down, so I'll misbehave. Stop, control. Really let yourself know, okay, God, but don't push it, because this will suddenly become something bigger. So this is really a period that you got to nurture yourself. So find things, so I personally, I love to listen to music. I love to listen to interesting thoughts. I love to converse with people. So right after this conversation also, I'll be on a team call. Right after that, I'm on a call with a person. And my dear friend just says that let's just talk and rejuvenate. I chat with people. I rejuvenate. That's why I even have this very interesting show on LinkedIn. It's called The Two of Us. And last week there was Prabir Jha. Next week, this Saturday, it's going to be Emmanuel David. And we're just chatting. Do something to nurture yourself, my friend. You owe it to yourself. It is your gift to you. It is your life. If you are not well, you can do nothing to the world. I am very clear. I have a lot to contribute. And I have my shortcomings. I'll not say I'm the healthiest person in the world. Definitely not. So keep yourself, keep the limits for you. Say, hey, listen, I want to do that. I don't want to tolerate that. So have fun with yourself. Have humor in your life. Okay, be kind, and be kind to people around you, and joke a lot. Please joke. Don't be serious. Very boring.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ashish. It's been an inspired conversation from your side, both personally and professionally. I'm sure all of the participants today have really appreciated the value that you provided. And I think most importantly, they're going to take this back into their homes and share and implement some of the learnings so that they can move positively forward. Any closing comments before we wrap up?
Really go for it. Really get that each day of ours matters. See, I see life truly as a gift. I actually see it as a gift. So be naughty with it also. Be naughty with yourself. Be naughty, and things will look light. Crack a joke. Seriously, for me, joke is the twinkle. You'll get a twinkle in your eye. And the final thing that I'll tell you is surprise yourself. Surprise yourself. See, I have never ever thought of myself as a tech geek. I just at best used a phone. But this period, I have surprised myself.
Yes.
I come out of this period, I am walking in this period amidst a rejoicing that I'm learning some things. I keep sharing with my son who's in Berkeley. Mohu, I learned this today. Okay, he's like, yeah, of course. But I still say, I learned something. And then he said, oh, okay, good, that's interesting. So be excited, be curious, and be kind to yourself and to the world.
Fantastic. Thank you, Ashish. On behalf of Right Selection, our team, and all the participants from today, thank you very much. Our deepest gratitude and appreciation for your valuable time and your contribution. Thank you.
Appreciate your journey, Gautam. The passion with which you work. I truly honor that. I've seen you over the years, and how you've created new heights for yourself. I'm very proud of knowing you. So thank you so very much, my friend.
Thank you. We'll just wrap up with a couple of polls. So the first one is, what is your preferred virtual learning method? Moving positively forward, we will be looking to provide you one-to-one coaching with global and regional thought leaders, masterminding. So we're creating mastermind groups of 8 people to have weekly coaching with some thought leaders in groups of 8. So very exclusive. As we know, this journey is tough, and it's good to have a partnership sort of with the coaches globally. Then we have a half-day masterclass. And the option, one of my preferred option, is short bite-sized learning of 2 hours a week for 4 weeks. So just getting a sense of your preferred learning method. I think learning, as we all know, is a lifetime journey. These webinars are definitely inspiring, educational, but we're going to have deeper learning experiences. So do click on your preferred method. Thank you. Great. We can see that the groups of 8 masterminds is one of the premium options, and then the preferred option is 2 hours a week, where bite-sized learning over a month. Thank you. And last but not least, the final question I'd like to ask you is sort of the frequency of the learning. So we can provide learning on a weekly basis, fortnightly, or monthly. Obviously, we have multiple responsibilities